All right. Well, welcome in, everybody. Joe Powers here with you on All Access, GHSA All Access, and hanging out tonight. Going to be talking to the head coach of the Pelham Hornets, Coach Ryan McKenzie. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
Hey Joe, how are you, man? I'm doing well, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, certainly. Thank you so much for trying out a new platform, a new virtual studio with me here today. I tell you what,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
gonna
No
be a little
worries.
fun.
Yes, sir.
Coach, I'm so glad to talk to you again. It's been a minute since we've got to talk. The last time, I believe, we were still doing a post-game call-in show, the Rob, Ben, and Joe show. And, of course, Rob and Ben are coaching now. So we had
Wow.
to stop doing that and back to the old grind with radio and content creation. So I'm glad to see
Wow.
you still in the game here with us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I remember vividly calling in after the days in Chattahoochee County and talking to you guys about scores and sharing some exciting moments and highlights. So,
Yes, sir. Yeah, Rob and Ben are coaching, and I'm still doing the Dublin football. But Coach, you've got a new home, and that is at Pelham. Tell us a little bit about your journey there as we get started here.
I was at Chattahoochee County for 1 year. We one and done there, and from there we went to Hardaway for 2 years. Moved over to Muskogee County. Had some conversation with my family before we moved from Middle Georgia, and we kind of knew that, we would be here at least 3 years. My daughter was entering middle school, and we want to give her a chance to finish those years, and kind of wanted a slower pace. The city life is a little faster, and, with raising girls, we wanted to make sure that we gave them opportunity to have a great chance at high school and not have to worry about a lot of things. And Muskogee County has a great, great, great educational system. We just wanted something a little different. Had talks with Pelham. I want to say 2, 3 years ago, before I got the Chattahoochee job, I was a finalist for the job, and the superintendent was the assistant superintendent there, and the job came open, reached out, and we talked and loved the facilities, loved the admin, loved the athletes. I played in my first game as a head coach and lost to them by 1 point on a botched field goal, and I always knew that they had potential. So the opportunity came back around, talked with my family, and we just decided it was the best opportunity for us at the moment.
Well, I love it, Coach. And I tell you what, I recall from our previous conversations, just the excitement and the energy and the commitment that you bring to a program, and somewhat familiar with the program, and now getting to call Pelham your home. So, Coach, here we are. We're like 51 days, I think, to the opening Friday of high school football.
Don't remind me. Don't
Coming
remind
fast and furious, isn't it?
me. It is. It is.
Well, tell me, Coach, as you've stepped into Pelham there, tell me a little bit about what you're walking into. Set the scene for me. Where did they finish last year? What are you expecting this year?
Last year they were 3-8. I'm a spread guy, and they were split back veer guys. So, we're coming in and we're trying to change that. Trying to focus on defense, trying to build some depth. Pelham is a poverty stricken area, with great people, tremendous people. Trying to make it exciting, trying to make sure that we get everybody out that wants to play. So the biggest challenge right now, I would say, has to be depth and quality of building a full roster. Right now, we're seeing about 35 kids, and we want to make that number get up to about 45 to 50, so we can make sure that we spill guys and have some fresher legs when we get deeper into the playoffs, when we get this thing rolling. Last year they were 3-8. They lost in the first round of the playoffs. Um, had great success offensively. I think they struggled a little with turnovers, so we're trying to make sure we hone in on ball security this year. Trying to make sure that we understand how to line up and fit certain things. And just trying to change the culture. Coach Guy did an unbelievable job of setting this thing up. And we're just trying to come in and just add to what they're doing and trying to put our tweaks in and work hard every day, and just trying to make sure that we prepare them for Friday nights.
Yes, sir. Well, that's going to be, it's always a process when you have to come in and take a program that's running a little different offense than what you had, and going to have to implement some of those changes, not only schematically, but then also with personnel. And, the fact that you're building a roster there and building a little depth in, it's going to give you, two sides to every coin. One is you've got the opportunity to build what you want and bring people into what you want. The other side is, you got to bring people into what you want. You got to build
Right,
that.
right, 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 right. Absolutely.
So you
Uh,
kind of got your hands full there a little bit, but it sounds like fun.
oh, it is. It is. It is. From I mean, great kids though. Great kids. I mean, some of the hardest working kids I've ever had, and had an opportunity to hire some unbelievable coaches to come in and they hit the ground running, and we're challenging them every day, and we're making sure that we stay patient and understanding that Rome wasn't built in one night, and understanding that it's going to take some work to get where we want to be, and we're just not satisfied with anything, and we're going to work hard every day.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, it's always fun being in your position, and what I mean by that is just being the head coach of a program. As you talked just a minute ago about, what you bring to these kids. You got 35 or so kids on the roster now in a community where you want to get youth engaged, and you want to give them all the resources it means to be engaged. But let's just talk about that connection for a minute and getting to know those kids and what it means really to be a head coach. Tell me about that for a second.
I think, I tell my coaches all the time, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's right.
And when we go into a program, that's the first thing I tell my kids. It starts with I love you and it ends with I love you. Now there's gonna be some stuff in between there, and you need to listen to the message and not the tone of that stuff. And it's our job to earn their trust. It's our job to go in and let them know that we love them, um, and for them to understand that we're here for them. And it's bigger than ball. I want to win games. I want to be a state champion. But we was at an OTA yesterday, and I was at America Sumter before it merged to Sumter County about 5 to 6 years ago. And a kid was standing on the fence, from America Sumter, and my kid saw him and heard him, and it was Travian Thomas, who was just selected a free agent as from the Carolina Panthers, watching his little brother. And he called me over to the fence and he was like giving me a hug. And my kids were like, Coach, who is that? And I said, he plays in the league. And they was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And it was like, you coached him? I said, absolutely. And they just heard our conversation, and I just think just being vulnerable, being honest, being open, and modeling what you want. I tell them all the time, I love you, man, and I love you regardless how you play. And I make sure that my coaches understand that we're going to build them up and we're going to challenge them. But at the end of the day, we just want quality young men. And I think if you do it that way, then the wins will come. When we was at Hardaway, we was 0-10. I knew what I was walking into. The first year we built that thing from the ground up, and we got it all the way up to 4-6. Had a chance to be 6-4. But it was the 0-10 season was challenging, but it was the funnest season I've ever had because I got a chance to see kids grow and believe in themselves.
Right.
And from that moment on, I mean, I don't have to win 30 games. If I can see our kids having great grades, if I can see our kids pushing themselves in the weight room, if I can see them trying to commit to the process, and every senior that wanted the opportunity to play at the next level at Hardaway got a chance to play at the next level or go to the military. So that's what I'm
Right.
most proud of. That's what we present, and it's not about what you win. It's about how you can impact these kids' lives.
I hear you, Coach. And that's what I love about the conversation with you. And I recall it's, that's really forget the records for just a second. And that's almost a taboo thing to say in some programs, but let's just forget that and remember what we're focused on here. And that is the kids and growing good young men. And I tell you what, it sounds like you guys have a great coaching staff in place. I know the head of it is going to be great. Coach, who are some of the others you brought in? Do you have any names you want to throw out there for us?
Absolutely. I have my loyal faithful, my defensive coordinator, Marcus Young. He's been with me. One of my best friends, actually. We played college ball together. He's followed me from Chattahoochee. We was at Hardaway together, and now he's going to take the journey with me at Pelham. Have a former head coach. He was at Creekside, and he's traveled from Lowndes to. He was the offensive coordinator last year at Charlton County. So really excited, really excited to have him and his knowledge, and he's done a phenomenal job. One of the most critical hires that we've made. That's a game changer, I think, was getting Coach Andy Wolfram from Thomas University to join our staff. And coach has come in. He's been the outside linebackers coach, strength and conditioning coach, and also inside linebackers, and also our special team coordinator. And just having him and his college expertise and his background, and just trying to blend that every day. And the kids are able to see what a college coach thinks and how we practice and why we do what we do to help evaluate them so that they understand what type of player they are. So he's brought a tremendous boost of energy. Coach Willie Lawson came over from Seminole. He was the offensive coordinator there. He's going to come over and work with the offensive line and defensive line for us. And I just have one of the best staffs I've ever been on, and those guys work hard and they put themselves first. And drills make sure that these kids understand that they're going to be on their tails every day. And I tell them that you're the head coach of your positions, and they run with it.
I hear you, coach, and that sounds like exactly what you want to have. And that's a pretty good list of coaches there. You got a pretty
Yes,
good
sir.
array of talent. That's pretty cool. Well, coach, let's talk
Everybody.
about who those coaches are going to be impacting. Now, give me the name of some of the players here that we're going to be seeing from Pelham this year on the field.
I think one thing that's unique about Pelham, that we're super young. We're super young, so I think going into next year, we're going to have 8 of the 11 starters coming back on both sides of the ball. So,
Okay.
but I tell you, they're strong, man. These are some strong kids, and they work hard. We had an OTA yesterday, and some guys that stuck out to me yesterday. We have a sophomore offensive lineman, and a defensive lineman, Maddox Taylor. He performed really well. Have another sophomore wide receiver, DB, and athlete. He's going to play a lot for us. Ahmad Jones, he did well. We got a quarterback who's throwing the ball in Pelham for the first time in 4 years. He handled the thing really, really well. I think he threw more balls yesterday than they have in the last 4 years. So he's a rising junior. Aubrey Fleury, he's done a tremendous job with leading and doing the things that we asked him to do. Probably the most impactful guy, though, our Travis Hunter would be Daily Fowler. He's carrying the ball. He's lining up outside. He's going over to play D back, and he's texting me every hour on an hour asking for the film so that he can learn and study and get better. So super excited about him. We got two bigs up front. We got another junior, Jaden Wimberly, who's about 6'2", 310 pounds.
Wow.
Just a massive human being and works hard. He's a junior. He play O-line, D-line, and then we have another senior up front, and Bryson Davis, who's about 6'1", and he's about 290. So
Wow.
we have a huge offensive line. We're going to lean on those guys. We also got some skilled guys that can get it done, and we're excited to put it all together and see if we can stop some people and score some points.
I tell you what, that's an impressive group you got there, coach, just from what that sounds like anyway. Uh,
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, let's talk about what you got coming up here in about 51 days or so. Who's first on the roster there, first on the schedule?
Uh, I mean, I'm not really trying to look forward to it because we're still learning. But we welcome the challenge. We welcome the challenge. The first game is going to be against Thomasville, and I think they're going to bring out a great crowd, and I think we're going to have a great crowd. Everybody's anticipating, and they want to see us throw the ball at least 2 times, and I may have to disappoint them a little bit, but. Excited about them. After them, then we go down to Tallahassee and we play Childs High School out of Florida. And then we come back and we play a tough, tough Valwood team. Out of that's going to be really, really good. And then we get into region play, and we're scrapping on with Seminole, and then the rest of the teams in our region are very competitive. You got the likes like Mitchell County, that's going to be the rival. That separate. I didn't know they separated each other for 5 miles apart. And
Wow.
it's the backyard brawl as they call it, and we're excited to see those guys. And Early County is always a tough out, so we're gonna have to play them. Randolph Clay has improved tremendously under the coach, um, and we got some other guys in the region that's gonna be competitive. I think it's wide open. We want to be in the thick of things, and I tell my kids all the time, I don't want to see us playing our best ball in June, July, August. As long as we keep getting better, I mean, and the chips fall where they're supposed to be, we'll be where we need to be. So it's just taking it one day at a time and stacking good days.
I hear you, coach. Well, that's exciting, man. And you get to play right out of the gate, somebody like Thomasville there. It's going to be fun. And I
Yes,
think
sir.
the kids will have fun in that. So
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what, coach, I can sit here and fire questions at you all day long. I love it. But let me give you just a minute to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about there at Pelham. I mean, it's a place you're familiar with. Obviously, you told us the history, but you talk about the administration, you talk about the coaches, the kids, this community, just whatever it is that's on your mind. What would you like to tell us about Pelham?
Pelham is a unique place. It's a unique place. I mean, when you ride through, they hide the good stuff behind the highway there. If you blink, you may think you miss it, but if you turn right and you go into the town, it's a very unique town, and it's a place where people have a lot of passion for the Hornets, and they're excited, and they tell me every day, Coach, we're going to be there on Friday nights, and I can't wait. I can't wait to turn the lights on and get out there and just give them something that they can be proud of and something that they can be happy about. And from the bus driver that takes us on our 7-on-7s and our OTAs, and their coach buzz up and hey, believe in yourself. It's just it's a community that bands together, and it's a community um, that has tremendous pride. And I think it kind of shows. Like my principal, she's been there almost 30 years. She's been
Wow.
nowhere but Pelham. Our superintendent, Mr. LaRon Smith, was the head basketball coach and legendary coach, and he's been there 30 years, and he hasn't been anywhere. So they have a lot of pride. They have a lot of pride for Pelham. Our AD is Dara Hawkins. She's retiring at the end of the month, and she's been there for 30 years. So a
Wow.
lot of continuity, a lot of people that believes in the P, and we want to make sure that we put something out and make sure that they understand that we're playing through them and for them, and every night we're going to display that. I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to be there, have the opportunity to come in and bring some guys with some energy and some passion, so that we can make sure that we continue to grow in our profession and also do some great things in Pelham, Georgia.
That's awesome, man. I tell you what, you don't hear that very often. You talk about continuity at the administrative level there like that. I mean, that's pretty impressive. It
Yes,
really
sir.
is.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Coach, I tell you what, man, it's been fun getting to see you again, get to talk a little bit
Absolutely.
about Pelham. I got to tell you, I hadn't had in my years of doing this, I don't think I've ever got to have a conversation with anybody at Pelham. So
Wow.
that's kind of cool.
Wow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna talk a lot then. We're gonna make sure
Yeah.
that we keep this communication open and get some exposure to Pelham, Georgia. And just excited to be talking to you again, man. You guys do a phenomenal job. And I think a little fun fact, you was my first live post game interview in my coaching career. So I remember you forever, my friend.
Awesome. Well, that's good, man. I'm sure
Now,
I'm glad to hear that. And
now,
I'd love,
do you guys still give the stickers and the post game things? Do we do that still?
I'm gonna be doing it now. As you see the branding that's around us here, the GHSA All Access. That's
Right.
something. As Rob and Ben kind of got back into the coaching, I had to get away from that Rob, Ben, and Joe brand that we love. But yeah, I'm gonna have these GHSA All Access stickers, and we're
Wow.
gonna be sending those around. We're gonna be doing some things like that. So I'll be sure and let you know when we get that new swag in. I'll send some your
Yeah,
way.
man, that was awesome. That was awesome. My kids look forward to it at Chattahoochee, and I'm glad to be back in South Georgia, and glad to be, doing these things where it's going to be exciting. So,
Well, Coach, you're always welcome here on GHSA All Access. I'm glad to talk to you again. And Coach McKenzie, Ryan McKenzie there in Pelham. Good
yes,
luck
sir.
to you this season, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having us, and go Hornets.
All right. So I'll end that recording.